Opening thoughts, Coach?
Opening thoughts is UTEP played great. We kept fighting. We hung in there, gave them everything we had as far as an energy level, but they were very, very good, and they shot the ball, and they executed their game plan, and Tim had them ready to play. They just did a fantastic job. I mean, you look at the stats, we killed them on the boards, but in every other category, they just did a fantastic job. And it was just one of those games where, you can't get back into the mix. It was like the ebbs and flows of the game were very shaky. We get a run going, and then there's a foul. Then there's an and one. Get another run going, and then, there's another foul. And it's just kind of like, okay. And I'm not saying they weren't fouls. It was a real herky-jerky type of game. And usually this game is a game of runs. And then if it's not cleaning the blood off the floor, it was just, I'm just glad the road trip's over and I'm ready to get home. That's all.
Talk about that. Did being on the road that much have an effect on things?
Well, you like to think so, but hell, the way they played, I don't know if we'd have came in fresh, what would have happened. I mean, they shot 50% with 24 attempts. So, I don't know if we had fresh legs, we were going to be able to, combat that type of shooting and they were deep. I mean, they shot some deep threes. So what can you say? You just take your hats off to them and you give Tim and his crew all the credit. And we'll take a few days off, have a good Thanksgiving dinner together, and we're a family. We win together, we lose together, so it's not the end of the world. We have another attempt to split the rivalry at home on Tuesday, so we'll get geared up for that, and hopefully we can come out of here with a split.
How are they getting open for those threes?
Well, most of them, a few of them were in transition. Randy pulled up one in transition. Polk pulled up one in transition. So those are just tough to guard. When you hit your first couple threes, the rim gets a little bigger, and they just kind of got once you get hot, that's just the nature of the game. So, but we tried mixing it up. We played some zone against it. We played some man against it. In the second half, we just had to stay in the man, and we did that, and we did a better job in the second half. We held them to 36% from the field and only 5 attempts from the three rather than 19. But they still shot 40 on those 5. So they just played great. I mean, like I said, we did what we had to do to try to change things up defensively, and they applied some very good defense, took us out of our offense a little bit. So it was tough. It was a tough game and tough road trip, and give them all the credit.
Were you surprised to be down at half? They shot the three, but you got, like you said, you dominate the boards usually.
I know it's an interesting stat I can't think of too many games where we've out-rebounded the team by 21 and lost. But the three ball is a neutralizer. They made 10 threes. That's 30 points. What was the score at halftime?
21?
40.
40 or 40 was from 3.
So, I don't care how many rebounds you have. If you go down and knock down the tray ball, it's 30 points. They had 41. 30 of their 41 was from the 3-point line. If they shoot it like that all year, then they'll win conference. They'll win the Conference USA tournament. They'll win the first round, second round. They shoot it like that. That's a phenomenal number. But it's a rivalry game, and stranger things have happened. Coaches get kicked out. Not this time, but.
I did want to ask about the technical.
It was. I jumped up and down. So I guess my vertical leap warranted it a technical. So I was too animated. I didn't use any profanity. I didn't do anything I think outlandish. But he had all the reason in the world to call the tech, and it was a good call. It was just emotional game, rivalry game, and I thought my guy got banged a little bit. He said, I thought it was a good block. I said, yeah, it was a good block up top where he hit the ball, but I was referencing the contact on the body, but that's okay. Nonetheless, it was a you know, physical game. They were very physical with us, you know, on the drives, and they did a good job. And so it was one of those games. So.
About CK guard Randy, just CK's overall performance tonight.
You know, he's growing up. He had a better disposition this game. You know, he ended up with 6 boards, 7 points. Outside of the turnovers, I thought he played pretty well defensively. You know, he's growing up. He's a freshman, and you know, he was playing like a freshman first couple games. And if he erases the turnovers tonight, that's a sophomore, junior line. So
Pretty good assignment. Like, you must feel good with them guarding Randy.
yeah, he did a great job, I thought, from the defensive side of thing. It just was the offense where he struggled a little bit tonight. And he's still learning the system, and you know, he's getting better. So, but Randy, you know, Randy shot the deep ball, made 4 out of 10 there, and those CK wasn't on him the whole time. You know, we switched up and played some different people on him, but you know, it was one of those bright spots. You know, the rebounding. You know, we got to get Ham going. You know, the road was just real tough for him. You know, and he didn't. You know, bigger guys maybe in those planes and cramped. I don't know what it is, but we got to get him back to, you know, game form and, you know, mid-season form quickly, because we need him inside. And you know, it's just our bench we got to get a better production off the bench as well. So, but you know, when it's all said and done, I'm very proud of the guys' effort. I like the fact that they didn't fold up, even though the score is not indicative of how close it was. It was a closer game, you know, when you have to foul and do those kinds of things late, it normally stretches it out. But we will lace them up again next Tuesday and see where that one comes out.
If Stone guards Troy again, is that something that you maybe need to try to exploit?
Well, we did. We tried to go inside, but then they doubled when they came with the opposite big and doubled him inside. And, you know, he, to his credit, he got to the foul line. He had 10 attempts from the foul line. Still shot, you know, probably 38% or something like that from the field. And, you know, it was a tough guard for Julian as well. I think that took a little bit of Julian's legs, you know, having him guarding. Julian was only 1 for 6. And, but he had 7 rebounds and, but only, you know, 4 points. So it was you know, I think it took a little bit from them for him to be on him as well. So we just got to, we'll adjust to it. We didn't know that they were going to match up like that, so it was a good matchup on their part.